Today, what I'm going to be doing is giving you a kind of closer up look at one of our most popular displays. So it's the Serpentine workshop, and it's Serpentine's so sort of part of Cornwall's identity, and specifically the area near Helston the Lizard. And it's not known when Serpentine was first sold commercially, but at least in the early 19th century. And we know that the Lizard Serpentine Company was formed around the mid-19th century. And we know that at that point, it maybe before that used to supply stone to Truro and Penzance, and then realised they could build their own factory closer to the source. We're going to have a look around, but it's just worth saying, if you don't know much about Serpentine, in the Victorian times, it became really, really popular, and Queen Victoria and Prince Albert and their children visited Mounts Bay in 1846, and they were shown examples of Serpentine, and it led to a huge enthusiasm for it, and the royal family ordered some Serpentine for Osborne House and the Isle of Wight. So what I'm going to do is show you around and try and show you some of the different processes. Now, I am not an expert in quarrying and mining, so if anybody else knows any useful links and things like that, do let us know. So I'm going to turn the camera around. And what I thought I'd begin is showing you some of the things we've got to do with, I suppose, the beginning of the process. So we have a brilliant sign here, danger, beware of blasting. And I suppose it's because when you begin the whole process, you start with quarrying. So we've got some big rocks here in a wheelbarrow. We've got hard hats, because obviously it's quite a dangerous occupation. And we can see here a notice we've got up on the wall, which is to do with the provision of the Act, the Explosive Acts, 1875. Because obviously it's quite dangerous. See if I can come out and you can read all of that. And a part of this, I think it's interesting, one of the things we've got here, we've got a first aid box. It seems to me that if you got caught maybe in a big explosion, that box might not be sufficient. And what I might do at the end, if I've got time, I've never looked in that box. I might just take it out and have a look and see what's in it. So over here, we've got shovels as well. And then we've got some of the tools that you would need all along this wall for chipping off the rock, once it's in obviously smaller forms. And we've got different tools here. And you use these for sort of do some of the rough dressing, and we've got a set of calipers on the wall here as well. You can see all the kind of tools here. The colours are beautiful, actually. Some of the drills. A backpack. And then you kind of have the next stage. So what we've got here is we've got a stove pot here, because you need glue. And then there's wax. They used wax for mounting onto the plates. So we've got some of the plates here, you can see. You can see. And we'll go over here, once you get to the turning stage, the lath, and various different things for helping you get from a lump of rock into something quite ornamental, because Serpentine was used quite a lot to make ornaments, and it became quite crucial to the tourist trade. And you can see we've got some signs here. So we've got shop, closed on Sundays, open for quick sales. And a sign, going fishing. So you can see here. So you get your bigger lump, get it on, and you can see you can start turning and shaping it. And then we've got a nice oil can here, which reminds me a little bit of the Wizard of Oz. I'll show you here. centre. And then you gradually, you can see, turn your bigger lump into something resembling something you might actually use as an ornament. You can see over here. Now what I'm going to try and do is get my gloves on for going over here. Oh, you can see inside this melting pot as well. Ooh, hot. It must be very hot. And as I'm moving, I just want to show you this as well. So this is a sign about the paraffin wax. So paraffin wax also in garage. When bracing paraffin wax with painting knife and copper scales bowl, be careful not to push knife point right through bowl. And we've got a picture you can see of the turning happening, which explains it a lot better. And this is Mr. Boson, who the family generously donated this to the museum. And this is his grandpa working away. You can see more up in the window here. The items turned. We're going to go over here and you can see another one. I'm going to pick up my gloves as I go. I've just got to sort of carefully get round bits. You can see what I'm trying to avoid. And here we go. Here's another one turned. And you can see some of the shininess on it. And what people are ultimately trying to make are these. Because these are some trinkets that were made. Now I'm going to turn this around the camera and get my gloves on for you. There. Excuse the angle. Because there's some things up on the shelf that I think will be interesting for you to see. So what we've got here as well is we've got a statement book. And it's just saying who's paid for what. So I'm going to turn this camera again because otherwise with my gloves it'll be the wrong way round. These are orders. Serpentine stone, ornamental, royalties paid. If I turn this page, just take a second to focus. More orders. So that was for Redruth. That was to be loaded at Redruth Station. So it's weighed and to be loaded at Redruth Station. It's always really interesting when you come across people's administration and you think in the future what might be happening here. So we can see again loaded at Redruth Station. So obviously Redruth Station's been used a lot as a point for taking the stone. And on the shelf behind me we've got rouge. Rouge powder. We've got inflammable liquids, and then up here we've got some little pots. Oh, it's heavy. This one's heavy actually. So royal baking powder. Royal baking powder. I don't know what they use that for. I feel I'm going to have to become more expert. And up here we've got some more books. Take one down off the shelf. Remove this. Another invoice book for the shop. Let me see, let me have a open up. see what the first cover says. It says door stop for somebody. And we can see here 20th of March 61, and that was obviously an order for a shop. You can see we've got 6 ball lamps, 2 lighthouses, 6 piskies, and that's the sort of thing you can see here. So we've got lighthouse, we've got some piskies, and we've got some lamp bases. And then what I'm going to do, I'll try and leave this so you've got a bit of an more interesting view, is I'm going to get that first aid kit down because I'm really curious to see what we've got in here. And let's see if there's anything at all within this. So let's go on a bit of a journey together. I've got the first aid box here. First aid box. Now, lid opening. I feel I should have some drum roll. And let's see. Whoa! That's amazing! A complete first aid kit. Yeah. I'm not going to pull any of this out, but we've got stuff to go on your wounds from Boots. Wound dressing, surgical dressing, burn dressing. Oh, and there's Optrex. So that's obviously for your eyes. Now, I'll just turn this around. You can see a close-up of the stove. There we go. So I hope you've had enjoyed having a little look behind our counter here. I'll flip the camera and give you one more look around. And thank you so much for joining us. And we'll pick out another area in the museum for you to have a look at next week. Thank you. Here we go. One last look. And then we'll end with this old cutting of them down at the harbour. Thank you. Bye.